don't be afraid to fail. He said that we were raised to think that failure is bad, but it's the cornerstone of success. It's like you have to fail, you have to go through that. In order to have success, you have to experience failure in order to get there. And then reminds us of that quote from Winston Churchill, which says that the definition of success is going from failure to failure without losing enthusiasm. And that's what we see a lot of people do, is they lose enthusiasm because they fall down and then they get discouraged. And it only takes, I remember Bob Proctor saying that he doesn't think that there's any lazy salespeople. I might beg to differ. But I know where he was going with that. He says he's found that it's not so much laziness, but rather getting kicked in the face so much that you finally just give in. You give up. That was his way of explaining this concept, and I appreciated that. So the question at the table is, when was the last time you embraced failure? When was the last time you actually looked at it differently, from a different perspective? And here's the other part that's worth considering, is that if you're not failing, it means you're not pushing yourself enough. And you've heard about people that say, today I'm going to seek failure. If you're not failing, you're not pushing yourself. In other words, if you're not waking up if you're not failing every week, that means you're not pushing yourself enough and you're not trying new things and you're stuck in a rut and you're going with the flow. You're not straying from this very well-worn path. You're just doing what you know. In other words, you're on autopilot. So the encouragement here is to fail often, to do things that you say that I failed, I tried something new, and then ask yourself, did I fail today? It's a good question, because then when you embrace that failure, no longer feel sad when something doesn't go as planned. You actually look at it quite differently. The quote that was brought at the end of that section was Wayne Gretzky said that you miss 100% of the shots that you never take. So that would be the encouragement here. It's an interesting thing, is if you look at it differently, you're seeking to fail. So if it's like, I want to pick up the phone and make more calls than I've ever made before, knowing darn well that I will get hung up on, but it is the path. It is the cave that you fear to enter will hold the treasure. It's on the other side. The thing I was the most afraid of was public speaking. Way up there. Probably more afraid of that than dying. Actually, true, I was. And I forced myself to do that because it was the thing that I feared the most, and come to find out, it's the thing that I enjoy the most. It's so freaking ironic. I can't even believe I'm saying those words. Like, I want to do that more. I'm looking forward to doing that more, and come to find out that was the thing that, like, I was the most afraid of. So I'm wondering how many other things are out there that are just like that, you know? It's something to consider and ask yourself, is what's the one thing that I'm afraid of doing, I've been afraid of doing, that I avoid at all costs, but I'm pretty darn sure that if I did that one thing on the other side of that, I'd have the success and fulfillment and gratitude and all the things that I'm looking for.